Hello there, this short how-to video will show you how to issue materials from stock to a contract. You'll also have the option to print the transaction sheet as a workshop sheet or to form a delivery note with the items already added onto it. To issue items from stock to a contract, if you're on the store's dashboard, you can click the Issue Materials from Stock to Contract button, and that will take you straight to the screen. Now you'll notice here there's no way out at the moment. To get return to dashboard or to issue the items, you need to either scan this code with a scanner or just physically type the word end in there, and that will then reveal the back to dashboard or issue items to the contract. So we can go back to the dashboard from there. The other way of getting to that is through the menu system. Go to your production, go to stores, issues and returns, and issue materials from stores to contract, and we get to the same area. So we say who we've issued them to. It doesn't have to be filled in. If you've got the employee's code, you can simply scan that and that will enter it in. If you don't have that to hand, you can manually enter it by typing their initials and their code, but you just need to add the plus symbol, hit the tab key, and it will enter it. Then enter in the contract number. So again, you can either manually type that in and it would load the contract. You could then add in the production reference code if you had it. Now, if you've got one of the production tracking sheets, you could simply scan the code at the top right-hand corner. That will automatically enter the contract number and the bill production item. So we're now ready to enter in the item codes of the items we want to issue to stock. I'm using the DataLogic button scanner. So we're going to say I want a quantity of 2 of the Blum hinges, and I just scan the code there. That enters that in, and we'll have a sheet of MDF. So we just enter in the stock items. If we made an error with the quantity, we can overtype the quantity here, so we can just change that. If we misscan and we want to remove an item, simply select it and say remove selected item, and that will take it from the list. So we'll just scan another item back in. Once we've added all the items in, we're ready to issue some stores. We need to reveal the button to issue it. So simply scan the code at the top. That will then put an end character into the production code, and we can then click back to dashboard or issued of items to contract. So if we click the issue items, just wants to confirm that we're okay to do that. The system will then give me the option to do a standard workshop or a delivery note. So if we look at a standard workshop sheet first, just going to check my printer settings. It should default to A4 landscape. We just need to check that it is on A4 on this printer. I'm going to preview on screen. And so we get a sheet there that can be issued with the items to the bench. It's got a transaction code for each item. So if all the items aren't used for the item on the bench, they can return it. They can say how many they're returning, and then we can scan this code to return the items back into stock. We've got an option to print a job costing copy for the office. If we have a look at that, that's basically just confirming the costs of those items. Now, obviously, this is not to be given out with the items that are issued. The system then returns back to a blank template where we can start issuing more items. So if we issue some more items to that contract, and we'll do the same again. We'll have two sheets of MDF. We then need to issue that, so we scan the code. Yes, it's okay. Now this time we're going to create a delivery note. So it takes us straight to a delivery note. The items have been added and it's telling us the stock has been issued. We just need to complete this delivery note, say whatever docket reference it is, if we want to add that reference, how it's going to be delivered, the reason for the delivery date. And we can then add further items to the stock from here. So if we've got items that have been manufactured that are in the loading bay ready to go, we can add those to the sheet. Now, we can also add items from the material library again into here. If I scan the MDF item, you'll see there it adds it in, but it tells me it must issue from stores because from a delivery note, it won't take the stock or add to job costing. It simply is just adding the item to the delivery note. So I'm going to remove that from the list. So we can either save and complete this later, or we can issue the delivery note there and then. So if we issue and print that, you'll then see we get a delivery note with the items. It also shows the location of the items as well, where they're kept in the stores. We then return back to our area where we're entering items to the contract. And once we're finished, we simply say back to dashboard. Now, if we're in the middle of entering things, if I just enter this contract again, and we enter the hinges, and we get interrupted for whatever reason, or we don't want to complete this, we can reveal the back to dashboard button, click back to dashboard, and these items will be saved the next time I open this list. So if I click OK, we go back to our dashboard. Then when I resume issuing materials from stock, it will remember what we've done, but I do have to re-enter the contract. We just re-enter that so we know we're going to the right area. So if we just end that, back to dashboard. And that's all there is to issuing items from your stores to a contract, either via a standard workshop transaction sheet or a delivery note. Now, I just want to show you how the stock allocation works. Now, first of all, we look at our material item in the library. I'll just load the hinge. We can see here that we have 0 allocated. We've got 20 in stock, therefore 20 are available. And if we look at the view stock allocation table, you can see there's nothing in there. So now what I'm going to do is go and issue some items to a contract. So if we issue 2 of those hinges. Now at this point, they will be allocated. So if I was to leave this screen, if I come out of this, go back to the dashboard, and then we go and look at that item in the library again. You'll now see that we still have 20 in stock, but we've got 2 allocated, therefore there's only a quantity available of 18. And if I view that stock allocation, we can see that it is it's allocated on the stores issued to contract listing being created by myself. So what this is doing, it's preventing, if there's several of you issuing items to stores and you're all using the same item, it will know who's got what allocated. Now, again, it's very important to remember, if I leave the issued to stores allocation list still populated and not issued, I'm going to be allocating and reserving those items. So if I now come back to that listing, you can see the item is still there. So this time I will complete the transaction. So we'll load it to the contract. And now we just reveal the button to issue it. Yes, it's fine to do it. We'll do a standard workshop. Preview. Then we go back to the dashboard. Now, if we look at that item in the library, we'll see we've got 18 in stock, 0 are allocated, therefore 18 available. And if we look at the allocation, it's now been removed. So it's moved it from the allocation out of stock and obviously to the contract. So that's all there is to the allocations that's going on behind the scenes. So thank you for taking the time to look at this short video, and hopefully it will have helped you with this area of Contract Controller. If you need more assistance with using Contract Controller or would like more information, please do get in touch.